Ladies and gentlemen, my dear Biafrans, Igbo people, I'm making this very video because it is paining me and I have it at heart to make sure that Mazen Nnamdi is released. So there's no time for me to waste than to inform you what is on ground, which no Nigeria media will tell you and no Nigeria newspaper will tell you. We who are talking on the social media, briefing you and telling you, updating you about the moves about Mazen Nnamdi life. Mazen Nnamdi life is very important, more important than Tinubu's life, more important than Nigerian politicians' life. I'm telling you nothing but the truth. So, as you are listening to me this very moment, I want to inform you that Captain Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso, the president of Burkina Faso, has taken this gospel of humanity, gospel of salvation, gospel of saving human life to Russia in Moscow to meet Mr. Putin, that is the president of Russia. Captain Ibrahim Traore, the president of Burkina Faso, have presented the document of Mazen Nnamdi torture and maltreatment on how Nigeria government kidnapped him from Kenya and illegally renditioned him to Nigeria. And meanwhile, they found him with British international passport. So to say, Mazen Nnamdi was a Biafran British citizen. So Nigeria has no right to kidnap him. Nigeria government kidnapped him. And the kidnap is a criminal offense, more than criminal offense. And it is against international constitution. It's against international treaty. And Nigeria was a signatory to that particular dastard act, mischievous act of kidnapping somebody or kidnap. Nigeria signed treaty with United States of America, and they violated the law after kidnapping him, and the UN Human Rights Organization told the Nigeria government that what they did was evil and it is against international constitution. They should release Mazen Nnamdi unconditionally and compensate him for infringing his human right. But Nigeria government nullified it and violated the law of United Nations. And the matter continues. They have been carrying Mazen Nnamdi from one place to another, trying by all means to kill him. And the Federal High Court of Abuja, Nigeria, have judged this matter, make their findings, and they said to Nigeria government that Mazen Nnamdi is discharged and acquitted. He committed no crime. Release him and compensate him for tarnishing his image. Nigeria government violated the law of Nigeria and dragged Nnamdi Kanu to Supreme Court of Nigeria. Then Supreme Court of Nigeria, after taking a long time, studied the case carefully, and Supreme Court of Nigeria told the Nigeria government to release Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally and compensate him adequately for infringing his human right, because the manner in which they use and brought him to Nigeria is illegal. It's illegality. And therefore, illegality is criminality. It's not expected that government who's supposed to fight criminals or criminality or illegality should be involved in that criminality and illegality. So for this reason, they should release Nnamdi Kanu and compensate him. And Supreme Court of Nigeria warned that nobody should visit this case anymore, either in Nigeria or outside Nigeria. Nigeria government violated and undermined the order of Nigeria Supreme Court, still hold Nnamdi Kanu down for 5 years in the DSS custody, not in the prison. And he has been wearing one cloth for this 5 years. Ibrahim Traore took his time to explain things and what is the problem, why they kidnap him, why is all this going on. Putin asked carefully and gently. Captain Ibrahim Traore went ahead to explain to Putin that the whole issue is that southeast or eastern part of Nigeria, which had civil war 1966 to 1970, and was declared a sovereign nation, Biafra sovereign nation, which was fought by late Dim Odumegwu Ojukwu. So he was the president of Biafra for 3 years during that Nigeria Biafra civil war, and which ended. But since after that very moment, over 4.5 million Biafrans were killed during that civil war. Then Nigeria government, made up of Hausas, Fulanese, and the Yorubas, refused to allow Biafrans to participate actively in the government in anything that has to do with the Nigeria government. They are being ostracized, nepotized, tribalized, and politically marigendered. So, on the other hand, in conclusion, Nigeria government marginalized Biafrans. And this led to the anger that the young generation now, after half a century that war took place, that the 21st century generation now, because of the marginalization and acute hatred being developed on Biafrans, then the new generation of Biafrans started revolting and saying that they need their own country, Biafra, which was once existed for 3 years, using pounds as their currency. Now their leader now, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, is Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And this is why Nigeria government is looking for him by all means to kill him. So now, why did they want to kill him? Because he is the leader of the Biafra movement for sovereign nation. And they believe that if they kill him, the issue of Biafra will die, because Nigeria doesn't want Biafrans to be on their own as a nation. And Biafrans are Christians in Nigeria. Biafra nation is a Christian nation. And Nigeria government is a terrorist government. Nigeria government is a jihadist Islamic movement of West Africa province. So they are now committing genocide on Biafrans. Nigeria government is killing Christians in Biafra land. So everybody knows this, and further inquiries can be made about this to ascertain the real truth. So that is all. But Putin promised to do something.